You know, out in the middle of the Nevada desert, there's a place that, for decades, officially didn't even exist. But in our collective imagination, oh, it's been home to crashed alien saucers, super-secret government projects, and technology that's totally beyond our wildest dreams. So let's dive into the secret and the legend of Area 51.
But before we get to all the myths and aliens, the reality on the ground is pretty intense. The perimeter of this base isn't just fenced off. No, it's guarded by signs that flat out say security can use lethal force. This isn't just a suggestion. It is a deadly serious warning that whatever is inside is being protected at all costs.
So, how are we going to peel back the layers on a place this secret? Well, here's the plan. We're going to start with the legend that everybody knows. Then, we'll get into the declassified Cold War reality. We'll see how spies somehow became aliens, check out what the secret looks like today, and then, at the end, we'll ask the big one. What is really being hidden out there?
All right, first up, let's talk about the story we all know and love. The one that's packed with extraterrestrials and futuristic tech, born from whispers and pretty much nurtured in the shadows of government denial.
You know, what's so fascinating here is how specific these legends are. It's not just some vague, oh, there are aliens there. No, the stories claim the government is studying captured alien pilots, trying to reverse engineer their ships from incidents like Roswell, and maybe even working with them on crazy energy weapons. It's a really powerful and, persistent story.
Okay, so let's hit pause on the legend and pivot to the actual history. Because the real reason this base was created had absolutely nothing to do with little green men. It had everything to do with the Cold War and the fear of a very real enemy right here on Earth.
See, the official name for the facility is Groom Lake. It's part of the Edwards Air Force Base complex. And back in 1955, the CIA needed a place that was completely off the map, a spot where they could build and test aircraft the world had never seen before, all with one target in mind: the Soviet Union.
And this timeline just lays it all out, right? The U-2 spy plane was this incredible piece of engineering, flying at altitudes people thought were impossible. So when one got shot down in 1960, the race was on to build something even faster, even more advanced, and that was the A-12. Area 51 was literally the birthplace of America's eyes in the sky.
So if the base was just for spy planes, where in the world did all the alien stories come from? Well, as it turns out, the extreme secrecy of the military operations accidentally created the perfect cover story.
And the explanation for it all was actually surprisingly simple. See, back in the 1950s, commercial airliners flew at around, say, 20,000 feet. So imagine you're a pilot. You look up and you see these metallic objects glinting in the sun at 70,000 feet. What do you report? You report a UFO, because that's exactly what it was to you, an unidentified flying object. It's not like the Air Force could get on the radio and say, oh yeah, don't worry, that's just our top-secret spy plane.
But those UFO sightings were just background noise until 1989. That's when a guy named Bob Lazar went on Las Vegas television and made claims that just threw gasoline on the fire. He's the one who transformed Area 51 from a military secret into the global epicenter of alien conspiracy theories.
So here's the thing. Lazar's story was absolutely sensational, but when people started digging, it just fell apart. Investigations showed he never actually went to the prestigious universities he claimed, like MIT and Caltech. He's never offered any real verifiable proof, and his credibility was hit even harder by a criminal record. For a lot of folks, his story just doesn't hold water.
All right, so that brings us to the modern era. Because even after the big myths were debunked and the Cold War was over, the story of Area 51, well, it didn't stop. In fact, the secrecy only got deeper, and the base itself has kept on evolving in some pretty fascinating ways.
Think about this for a second. The base opened way back in 1955, but the U.S. government, through the CIA, did not officially admit it existed until 2013. And they only did it because of a Freedom of Information Act request. That is 58 years of official denial. Just incredible.
So when the declassified documents finally came out, it was a huge news story. But for all the believers, it was kind of a letdown. The papers talked all about the history of the U-2 and A-12 spy planes, but as one person noted, there was zero mention of little green men running around in secret labs. But don't get it twisted. Just because the original mission is declassified doesn't mean the work is done. Not even close. Satellite photos clearly show the base is still actively expanding. We're talking massive new hangars and runways. The speculation is just shifted. Instead of aliens, Experts now point to the development of real-world, cutting-edge tech, like the B-21 Raider stealth bomber, projects that need just as much secrecy as the U-2 ever did.
And the legend's grip on our imagination is as strong as ever. I mean, just look at 2019, when a total joke on Facebook to storm Area 51 just exploded into this viral phenomenon. The Air Force actually took it seriously enough to issue a public warning. And while nobody really stormed the gates, the fact that millions of people were totally captivated by the idea, even as a joke, it just proves the mystery of Area 51 is still a major cultural force.
Okay, so we've kind of separated the myth from the facts that have been declassified. We're pretty sure the secret wasn't aliens. But it was, and it still is, something that requires one of the highest levels of security on the entire planet.
And here's the real kicker. According to sources, the CIA actually found all the UFO stories useful. They were the perfect distraction. While everyone was out there looking for flying saucers, the real secret, developing revolutionary spy planes and military aircraft, was able to continue right under our noses, hidden in plain sight.
Which leaves us with this one last thought. The original secrets, the U-2, the A-12, that's all declassified history now. But Area 51 is bigger and more active today than it has ever been. So the question isn't really, are there aliens there anymore? The real question is, what kind of technology, what future of flight or warfare is being built there right now that requires this extraordinary decades-long veil of secrecy?